Shares of GameStop, they are soaring this morning, and one of its most prominent backers is back. Keith Gill, also known as Roaring Kitty, made his first social media post on X in 3 years. Gill's bullish analysis of GameStop helped spark, if you remember, that big meme craze back in 2021. The post was an image that appears to mean he's sitting up and paying attention. And that's pretty much what we got.
All it takes.
Apparently. Yeah.
But first up on Last Call, what else? The tweet that sparked another meme stock craze. After 3 years of effectively no online activity that we could tell of, Keith Gill, the man who calls himself Roaring Kitty, published this image on X. Now, it appears to show what is a gamer or a man or something leaning forward, sitting back, and then leaning forward in his chair. The idea being that this person is re-engaging, maybe back in the game. And that tweet and that image was seen more than 20 million times. And since then, Gill has been on fire on X, posting a bunch of movie clips from flicks like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Avengers, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and more. By the way, if you know what any of these clips reference or mean, please let us know, because we have no idea. And when the kitty roared, meme stocks soared. Look at these moves today. This is today. GameStop up 74%. AMC 78%, with 300 million shares traded. And according to the Kobasi letter, that is about 18 times AMC's average daily volume. Other so-called meme stocks also joining the party. Shares of Vietnamese automaker VinFast, Spirit Airlines, Rivian, Reddit, and more all up big today. And the stonks madness does not end there. GameStop and AMC continue to rise right now. GameStop up 10%, AMC up 17.7% right now. So clearly the return of the meme stock craze has made some traders a lot of money. But could the intense speculation in the market also lead to a sell-off? Remember, back in 2021, the S&P 500 was trading at or near all-time highs when GameStop went to the moon. But instead of selling off, stocks continue to rally the rest of the year. So will history repeat itself? Could the meme stock craze be a good sign for the overall market? Let's talk about it now with our leadoff panel tonight. Joining us is the man they call the godfather of retail options trading. That is Tom Sosnoff, founder and CEO of brokerage firm Tasty Trade, and Wall Street Journal lead writer and CNBC contributor Gunjan Banerjee. She knows a thing or two about this Roaring Kitty fellow, because 3 years ago, she literally wrote the exclusive profile on Keith Gill. So, Gunjan, I am going to start with you. Why do you think that Gill is back? You know him a little bit. What's going on here?
It's so fascinating, Brian. I mean, this is a man who practically went into hiding after he spoke with the Wall Street Journal around 3 years ago, did not give another interview, stopped posting on social media. The last we heard of him was after those congressional hearings. But, his tweets today completely brought us back to 2021 when he was actively posting on Reddit about those call options that he bought. And it triggered this massive squeeze in GameStop shares. And, it was lighting up social media, lighting up brokerage platforms all of today.
Maybe like Tasty Trade, Tom. I mean, we're going to do something later on the show about how much money the short sellers lost today in GameStop, AMC, and others. Were these orderly markets, though? I mean, are these just all retail investors from your perch that are doing this? I can't imagine retail investors could drive a stock up 74%. Are hedge funds also getting involved, you think?
Well, it's funny. Brian. I remember, I think 3 years ago, talking to Gunjan just about this topic, about whether it was retail or whether it was, and I think we talked for a long time and discussed it. I mean, obviously, a good portion of the stock speculation side was probably a combination of retail investors and also high frequency firms and prop firms trying to get in front of the order flow. It's one thing if you're going to make markets and you think there's the risk of what happened in 2021 to happen all over again. I think one of the things that you want to do as a market making firm is to buy a bunch of stock just so you have the ability to sell options and everything else that retail investors are going to come after. So I think that was part of the speculation today. I also think that there's a huge attraction to noise because it's been so dead lately and so dull the last couple of weeks that I think, this just fired everybody up. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it was actually a fun day today.
Yeah, it was a fun day today. And obviously, it drove traffic to CNBC.com. People are watching and listening to us, hopefully. Gunjan, speaking of speculation, I'm going to ask you to wildly speculate because we don't know. But do you have any idea as to why now? Why would Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, decide that today, like to Tom's point, a random day in May was the day to pop back up?
It's interesting. We have seen these pockets of intense speculation, the meme stocks, come roaring back from time to time. And I think they've become part of how our modern market functions. We saw the Donald Trump staff get meme stockified, making up a word there. We saw this happen with the Silicon Valley Bank crisis. It's happened from time to time. I will say that it doesn't mean that happy days are necessarily here for individual investors, because I think there's a really ugly underbelly that's formed to the meme stock madness. And many individual investors I've interviewed didn't make money on meme stocks. In fact, they lost money. And I think seeing that eye-popping 40, 50% gain can be quite misleading sometimes.
Yeah, Tom, let's talk about options, because a lot of options activity in GameStop. And traders, according to Bloomberg, were picking up GameStop options ahead of Roaring Kitty's tweet. I think just could be all luck. Could also be very convenient. Could also be something else. Did you see any unusual activity or anything to kind of maybe make the radar go off to you?
There was a little pickup in option activity last week, towards the end of last week. But I have to be fair, the markets in GameStop options aren't that good. So, most of the activity, and a lot of it was in AMC as well today. AMC had huge option volume. But you have to realize when stocks have front month volatility of over 200 or 300% like GameStop and AMC did today, that means if you're thinking pot odds alone, that means there's a chance they could go up double and only go down one. So you're risking one to make two in the eyes of, the volatility watchers. And I think that creates a lot of the excitement. I think that's more so. I don't think there's anything unethical going on. I think it was just, it was crazy coincidental. And I don't know why he did what he did today, but that's part of the whole game we play.
It was. Literally like a picture of a guy moving forward in a chair, and this is what happens. I've seen some weird things in my time, Tom. So have you. This might be right up there. Quickly, Gunjan, don't give it too much away. What is your headline in the Journal tomorrow? What's the takeaway from this?
My takeaway is that minting money trading meme stocks isn't as easy as it looks. It was really fun to follow along with the memes. I think people get really excited on social media at the brokerage firms when they see this deluge of activity. But I think a lot of investors end up getting in at the wrong time, unfortunately.
All right, we'll wait for that article. Tom Sosnoff, Gunjan Banerjee, great. What a day. This is what happens. I go out west, I come back, meme stocks go crazy. I think I need to go back to LA. Tom and Gunjan, thank you very much.